Next week's presentation is presented by Michael McLaughlin. It's Reefer Madness. Cannabis legalization has exploded in the United States, Canada, and around the world. More and more U.S. states are legalizing medical and recreational use. Projected sales in the U.S. are expected to hit $23 billion by 2023. For Canada, a much smaller country, it is $8 billion this year alone. That's billion. And now Reefer Madness comes to Mexico. Soon Mexico will become the world's largest free cannabis market by population. What does this mean for Mexico in the world industry? Michael will present to us a fast-paced overview of the plant, the U.S. and Canadian industry, and possible scenarios for legal marijuana in Mexico. Michael has lived in Ajijic for 17 years with his artist wife. He's keeping her name out of here, though I don't know why. But anyway, all I have is artist wife. Please join us next week for that talk. You can come stoned or not. It's really up to you. This week's presentation, Street Children, Experiences and Reflections with Ricardo Fletes Corona. The street children population is the result of a complex network of social, community, family, and individual determinations, as well as a historical background. Direct contact with this population and the institutions that help is necessary to better understand the dynamics between them and how it changes over time. From this vantage point, one can see what offers the best results. Although this is a complex social problem, we can all do something to reduce and contain it, from the micro or individual level to the family level to the community level. Ricardo has done this work since 1985, beginning in Guadalajara and in shelters in the state of Michoacán. He has also traveled to Rio de Janeiro, trying to better understand the relationship between institutions, street children, and street educators. On top of that, he has visited and compared programs in Spain, Bolivia, and Colombia. Please join me in welcoming our speaker today. And he is going to do this in English, and it is not his native tongue, so we will be generous.
Good morning, buenos días, bom dia, em português. Então, digo, thank you. Thank you very much for the introduction. Very nice. Okay. Okay. Well, first of all, thank you very much for the opportunity to share this issue with you. It's an honor, it's a pleasure and honor for me to speak within this social circle, this social open circle. ¿Está bien? ¿Está bien? Okay. Well, I hope that more than talking about the suffering by thousands of girls and boys around the world, we remind with the idea of what can be done, of the huge capacity of girls and boys, as well as the programs that do their job well, work, and that is worth highlighting and making it known. Well, I apologize for my English, but I need to practice more. But I am the effort. Okay. Gracias. Well, I consider that the approach to childhood is a permanent one of attention and understanding that must be updated day by day. We need to do that. We need to do this. We need to learn from him. Okay, childhood, just like the world society, is transforming. When we have to observe the change and adapt to the new condition of being boy or being a girl in our society. But above all, try to create better conditions for children. When we speak about girls and boys, without any epithet like street child, violated child, abandoned girls, and so on, we will be facing a better society. This means that when we speak about childhood, we are also speaking about the society in which we live. That is why the study of childhood is important, and if there is a type of childhood with unmet deficiencies, with full final rights, it's complex. The study of childhood must be transmuted into actions toward childhood, without losing sight of the fact that society itself is often the one that generates a certain type of childhood. But every group of boys and girls have different needs in different places and different historical moments. For this reason, it's considered that the street child population is the result of a complex network of social, community, family, and individual determination, also with historical antecedents. What we do or did not do in the past explains, in part, the type of street population we have today. To give us an idea, in 1986, when I worked at the street educator at DIF Jalisco, it's an institution of the state. When I worked like a street educator, in a registry of the girls and boys we attended in the center of the city of Guadalajara, 5% of our population were girls, and 95 were children. In another study that I have been coordinated in 2008, we found that 30% were girls, while 69 were boys. From the total universe of girls and boys in the street was 3,674 people. That indicates that the huge world of girls who work in public space, and we all know that girls are at greater risk when they are in public roads. Yeah? The vote of 5% in 1986 for 30% of girls in the same place. It's a basic road. Oh, well, then it is very important to attend, to take action from these people, to know how many are they, what characteristics, and so on. We need to know them every day. So, the first action is to prevent more girls and boys from taking to the streets, and the second action is to make public sites safer from them. Because the public sites are not the better sites for a growth of child. Well, I am not going to accept the characteristics of these girls and boys. You know them and perceive them. Like poverty in family, violence, large families, precarious and informal work of the father and mother, poor hygienic conditions in the home, and so on. But I also want to accentuate some characteristics of these boys and girls. They are extremely resilient. A plastic ball, a simple doll causes a huge smile. Think over if they will get a tablet or a phone. They get great joy, and also they are excited about going back to the school and having new books and supplies. They themselves and children without epithets, and I think that is a great lesson for us. Therefore, we should ensure that their child life as well as possible. Yeah. I don't know if they can ask me something or to the end. I am open. I am like an open circle. Well, but it is necessary, it seems to me, to maintain great contact with this population and that of the people and institutions that direct their action to attend to street children, as is a necessary condition to better understand the relationship between one and another. What is the dynamics of this relationship, how it changes over time, and what is giving better results in the interaction of street children, people, and institutions that serve them. This is how a microsystem formed by street children, male and female educators, and institutions. Of course, all of them inserted in a large universe that society. So, the functioning of an ecosystem depends on the interaction of each part. But consider that it's a microsystem, that in this microsystem, girls and boys should occupy the central place. That is, to be cared for by everyone else. That society, the community, and the family provide all the needs that they have. Okay. But one strategy to address some of the needs of these children is government programs and not government programs, specifically designated to serve them. Theoretically, they replace the family, these programs, they replace the family and provide them with all kinds of care while girls and boys are generating their motivation and ultimately their autonomy as members of this society. I have seen directly this type of programs in Guadalajara, fortunately, in Rio de Janeiro, in La Paz, Bolivia, and other cities of America Latina, or Latin America. Of course, there are many variants, and most of the programs, whether governmental or non-governmental, combine strategies, have success and failure. Some recognized and modified, others do not accept criticisms. Few programs have serious evaluation or self-evaluation. Most programs don't ever want to be evaluated. Yeah, I think it's necessary the self-criticism for the better. The programs, what I have seen that are more successful. Excellent. Nice. Have the following characteristics, some of these characteristics. Impaired understanding of the needs of these children, as well as clear idea of what they want to achieve with them. Another characteristic is a direct, close, professional, and affectionate approach. If we don't do things with love, with affect, it's not very good. But other characteristics. The foregoing includes keeping a complete record or file of the actions taken, of the actions carried out with the child and your progress in the program. Other characteristics. Knowledge of the place, neighborhood, or neighborhood of origin, as well as the family from which it came. Okay. Another characteristic is the elaboration together with the girls or boys of a work plan, some call it a life project. Okay. Permanent analysis of the progress and setbacks of the child. The possibility of returning to the family implies working with the family and in the community of neighborhood in which they live. adjustment of the plan according to the results obtained, that is, adapting to the plan to the child and not the child to the work plan. So straight, that's right. Think, straight or modification of the work plan, as well as establishment of change arrangements with the consent of the child. He is always accompanied by educators who are professionally competent and emotionally close. Finally, the plan is aimed to animate a child, the independence and autonomy of the child in the program. Also, the use of street children is the result of a complex social problem. We can all do something to reduce and contain it from the micro or individual level. So the family level to the community level. The ideal is that we act in a coordinated manner. That we distribute the efforts and that we are aware that we are not going to modify this run from one day to the next. It is an action in the medium and long term, where a comprehensive and global understanding of the phenomenon is required and of a local action, with empathy, sympathy, and with effective closeness and the certainty that if we all act in one direction, we will find positive results. Well, in short, this is what I prepared for you. And we openly ask you, and thank you, Kat, thank you for your attention and for those who made this meeting possible. Thank you very much.